welcome to my ARK channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you all about the bosses, what you can take into the arena, and some recommended choices. We'll also be going over all the dinosaurs you cannot bring into the arena when it comes to the island bosses. So the island bosses, how are they similar? Well, you can locate them at different obelisks. So Broodmother would be at green, Monkey would be at blue, Dragon is at red, unless your server settings kind of make it so they're on either of the obelisks. But the conditions of these different boss fights are pretty much the same when it comes to what you bring. The Dragon, which it tends to be better to bring herbivores to because it does extra damage to carnivores. But the restrictions are pretty much the same for all three of them. Please also note, while doing the brood, spider, or the monkey bosses when it comes to the island, you will not be able to bring in a tech suit, or you will not be able to use grappling hooks either. Now, you can bring grappling hooks in, but they're not gonna work like you want them to. And same with tech, although it is worse because it will force unequip it usually, so your gear could make you naked in the boss fight, and you don't want that. But less about gear, let's talk about dinos, because they are crucial when it comes to doing boss fights, especially the spider, dragon, and the monkey. There are different ways to go about it. There are better tames to go in with, such as very common ones that people love to go with are Rexes, Therazinos, Rhinos, and those are your most common choices when it comes to boss picks when people go and do boss fights. But you could also want to consider other tames as well, and perhaps you don't want to go with the meta and you want to go outside the box a little bit, or perhaps you just have some really good tames that aren't either of those dinos. Well, off this list we're going to be going over the island dinosaurs. I'll be telling you the ones you cannot bring into the arena, since it will be easier to tell you what you can't bring in instead of what you can bring in, because you can assume the rest when I say you can't bring it means you can't bring it. If you can bring it, then it's not going to be mentioned, of course, in this next bit of the video. So tames you cannot bring in. You cannot bring in any type of flyer. This includes Argentavis, Dimorphodon, Ichthyornis, Onyx, Pelagornis, Pteranodon, Quetzal, Tapihara. There's also quite a lot of land creatures that can't make it into the fight either because of drag weight or climate issues. This can also be a thing that contributes to boss fights. So a creature's drag weight must be less than 560. So things like a Bronto will definitely not make it in. You also can't bring in Diplodocus, Giganotosaurus, Megalania, Parasaur, Phylocaleo, Titanoboa, Titanosaur. Things like that you can't bring in. Also, you cannot bring in things like water tames at all, since there is no way you would be able to get it in the arena itself. In the future, you could probably use things like this when it comes to different arenas and different maps, but this is the very basic, down-to-earth kind of island dealio we're talking about here, so these things you can't bring into the island arenas. A good thing to know about entry restrictions is a maximum of 10 survivors and 20 creatures are allowed into the arena. This includes shoulder pets and just walking creatures, so make sure that you count those shoulder pets as well if you're bringing those in. Also, another thing to bear in mind is being mounted. I highly recommend when you're getting teleported in or out of an arena, you dismount yourself, because it can happen that you get bugs and get killed if you don't do this. So I'd highly recommend not being on your mount when getting TP'd in or out of arenas. So make sure you get off that mount so you can teleport safely to the other side without no issues. But either way, this has been a video on what you can't take into the arenas when it comes to the island, monkey, dragon, and brood boss fights. Hopefully this video answered some questions in that way and was helpful. If it was, leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel for some more guides and videos in the future. Either way, thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.